Hey guys, so coming back for a quick video. I wanted to share with you because I'm about to do something really cool with my sauerkraut. So many of you watching on this channel have already picked up the very healthy habit of making your own probiotics at home in the form of sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is a fermented vegetable combination, and it can help you maintain your gut health. So I'm going to show you something today which is super simple, which can bring a lot of like flavor and yumminess to your sauerkraut. So first things first, I already did the first step the other day, where I chopped up the vegetables, I salted them, I mashed them, and I put them together in this jar with the salty brine, and I pushed them down. Now I want to show you something. Watch when I push this down. You see all the bubbles coming up? So those bubbles are a sign that it's working. So one thing is you want to make sure, actually these were a gift from my dear friend Roger. So these are these glass, you can find these glass things, you put them on top and it submerges the vegetables. Now the difference between rotting vegetables, which is not good for you, and fermented vegetables, which is very good for you, is that you want to have them not exposed to the air. So if you leave some vegetable peels out, if you leave vegetables out over time, they're gonna rot, they're gonna go bad. You don't wanna eat those, that's not healthy for you. But when you have the vegetables submerged in a salty brine, that brine, as our ancestors know, is what preserves food. And in this case, it also assists in the process of the fermentation. Thank you, Bronco. You guys can hear that, right? He's hilarious. He's my old man. So anyways, so I made that the other day. Okay, so there are two things that I want to tell you with this one. So I put the vegetables, you'll see that I have this in a bowl now. Why do I have it in a bowl? I didn't have it in a bowl, and I left the jar out just on the countertop. And you saw all those bubbles that formed? So when the bubbles form before you release them, they start increasing the volume of the mass that you have inside your jar. So I came back the next morning and there was brine, there was that liquid, this water, all over my countertop, which sucked. I had a lot of cleaning up to do. So a pro tip, I'm gonna give you 2 pro tips in this video, or I guess 3. One is you can get these cool glass weights to keep the vegetables under the brine. Second pro tip is, especially when you first start, put the jar in a bowl in case it overflows, just to protect your counters. And then the third pro tip is what I want to show you here. So this is a combination of mustard seed, and I also added some black seeds. And I put it in apple cider vinegar, and I let it sit on the counter overnight. Now, you might want to cover it because I did have to pick a few fruit flies out of it. So cover it, and then let it sit, and that's also fermenting. And what that's doing is it's opening up the flavors of the mustard seed. And you can use other seeds too. Like I'm actually gonna add some caraway seeds. Oh no, I did add the caraway seeds. I'm not gonna add the caraway seeds. I already added the caraway seeds. You can add seeds to your sauerkraut to get different flavors. And there are also different health benefits. Like the caraway seeds I just mentioned are a carminative, which means that they help with gas and bloating. So I also put coriander and fennel, and those are also really good for gut health. So here we go. So I'm gonna so here's the sauerkraut that I already started, cut, salted, pummeled till the juice came out. The juice, now you'll notice this juice that's coming out, I did not add water. This is the brine. This is the liquid that extracted naturally from the cabbage. And also there was some cucumber. So have you ever like salted like eggplants? My dad always cooks them this way. He like cuts the eggplants and then he puts salt on top and then lets it sit. And when you come back, you'll notice that some water has started to form on the eggplants. And that's because the salt is drawing out the water of the eggplants. So we're doing the same thing here. When we salt the cabbage, we're drawing the water out, we're breaking down the cell walls, and we're making it mushy. So that brine that you see there, that's what we want to submerge it. Let's get a clean spoon. So we're submerging the vegetables in that salty brine. Just take this off. And that's where the magic happens. That's where the magic of the fermentation happens. So depending on where you live, your altitude, how hot your climate is, will vary the time that it takes for the fermentation process to happen. I really just recommend, coming back and tasting it. Just like build a relationship with whatever you're creating. And you can see, you can tell, like, oh, does this taste good? Is this tasting a little sour? Like, is it still crunchy and fresh? Like, you know? So here we go. So let me just show you where we're at here. Hi guys, hi everybody, good morning. So this is one that I did the other day, just I think 2 days ago, I finally put it in the jar. And then that's when I did the mustard seed, black seed, apple cider vinegar concoction. So I let that just sit on the counter. I guess it's been a day or so now to ferment and just draw out the flavors of the seeds. And then now I'm just gonna mix it in. Great. Actually, I still have a few in there, but I need both hands for this. So now I'm just gonna take it and just mix this together. So this is a pro tip, because when you combine things in ingredients at different times, you can access different flavors. You can access different layers of fermentation, and you can really unlock it rather than just throwing everything in at the same time. So that also goes with like the texture of the food. Like, do you like things that are crunchy? Do you like things that are soft? Do you like a combination? I know for me, I like a certain combination where there is still a little bit of like a fresh crunch to it, while still getting sort of like the softness of the fermentation, the fermented cabbage per se. Like, I don't want to bite into crunchy cabbage, but the occasional like fresh crunch of like a more fresh onion I find to be quite nice. So in that way, we can play with different flavors, we can play with different textures, different levels of crunch, and yeah, Bronco. So yeah, so there you have it. So I just mix it with my hands, my clean hands. And the cool thing is that like through the process of this fermentation, like anything that's bad in there is going to get killed. In fact, when we were learning about fermentation in the permaculture course, that's when my whole vinegar kick started. Michelle was telling us about this story about how they were testing. They had like they wanted to see just how powerful this fermentation process was at killing the bad stuff. And so they took a sample like this and they added salmonella, they added E. coli, they added all these like horrible things that can get you very sick, right? And then they let it ferment. I can't remember how long, but they let the fermentation process go on. And then at the end, they tested for those bacteria. They tested for those bacteria, or they viruses, whatever they are. They tested for them, and all of them were gone. So the fermentation process is a really great way to maximize the vitamins and minerals of the food that you're eating. It just like, I don't know, it's sort of like there's a certain alchemy that you take this lower thing and it turns it into a higher thing through the process of these like really positive, beneficial bacteria. So it kills the bad stuff and it makes the good stuff even better for you. So if you haven't tried the sauerkraut, I highly recommend you do so. It's really simple. Just cut up a cabbage, salt it, squeeze it till the liquid comes out, and then just pack it in a jar, pack it down. I showed you the weight that I've used. This is the first time in my life I've had these. Before I didn't. So sometimes I would, you can find a good rock outside, clean it really well, and then use that rock to pack it down. Or sometimes I'll find like a cup that's smaller than the mouth of the jar, and I'll put the cup in. You can also use a plastic bag with water. Just make sure the plastic bag doesn't break and the water goes into your sauerkraut. I mean, it would be fine, but it's just not the most delightful way to do it. So lots of different ways to do it. And then, bring the sauerkraut, and you guys have probably heard eating probiotics is really good for you. It's good for your gut, especially if you're someone who's been taking antibiotics. I'm shocked that a lot of doctors don't recommend the basic thing of like, food being your medicine, which is like, Hippocrates. The father of modern medicine was the one who said the famous quote, "Let your food be your medicine." So this is one way that we can support our health, support our gut, support our overall well-being, because our gut health is tied to our emotional health, it's tied to our immune system, all these things. So especially if you're someone who is on antibiotics or recently has taken antibiotics, you're really going to want to fortify your system with some probiotics and different strains. I take I take like a pill one, also like a powder one that's been recommended for me, and then I also take this the sauerkraut, which I make myself. And if you're making it yourself, you know, there's a certain amount of, there's something to be said about making your own medicine in your own environment. You know, like there's a lot of wisdom that goes along with that, as opposed to just relying on someone outside far away. You know, when we're making sauerkraut, we're essentially harnessing the power of our local bacteria, our healthy local bacteria. And a lot of times the sauerkraut that you buy in shops, it's been sort of like pasteurized, so all the good stuff has actually been killed. So it's actually not even that healthy for you, so it's super expensive. And it's not even that good for you because all the good stuff has been killed for homogenization purposes, so they can mass distribute it. So yeah, just something to consider, something to think about. You know, these are the ways that we can take care of ourselves at home, you know, with our own two hands, with our own heart, with our own minds, with our own willingness to show up. So here, yeah, and actually I'm just gonna taste it, see how we're doing. Oh, how is that already so good? My God. Oh my God. It tastes, the ginger. It really tastes a lot of ginger in this one. So what I put in: cabbage, cucumber, carrot, ginger, garlic, and then I added some seeds, you know, what's on my shelf: coriander, fennel, mustard seeds, and the black seeds we just put in that were fermented in the apple cider vinegar for like a day and a half. And then there's also some caraway. There's also some ajwain, which is a cool herb. My God, that's good. Oh my God, how is it so good? I wish I could. Here, try, open up. Oh, it's. Bronco, my old man, I love him. Ooh, really taste that ajwain because it tastes different than everything else. Okay, guys, thanks for being with me. Thanks for tuning in. Are you making fermented foods? Let me know in the comments. Do you have any tips? Do you have any pro tips? Do you have any hacks to make it better? Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Do you have any favorite recipes? Is there anything that you're doing that maybe you feel like you is working for you? Maybe did you come up with it? Did you see it someplace else? How do you support the health and well-being of your gut and your family and the people that you love? Because that's also another thing I love about the sauerkraut is like you can make your own version. You can add, you know, like, I don't know, go wild, go add basil, add burdock, add flowers from your garden. I don't know, make it special, make it your own, and then you can gift it to others, like a little jar. And if people who know what's up, and especially even if people who they don't actually know about sauerkraut, like you could make something special and then you could teach them and give them a gift for their health. I'm finding myself giving away a lot of like apple cider vinegar these days because it's such a good thing for our health. So Gloria and her niece Maria Luisa, who adopted the puppies, I gift in their puppy pack, I gave them a bottle of apple cider vinegar, and I said, this is the secret. This is the secret to your happy, healthy dog. And I instructed them about put a capful in their water, put a little bit in their food. And that was something big I noticed for Stella when I started doing that for Stella. Wow, she really changed. She really just became a lot happier and more vital and just healthier and shinier and brighter. So it's something that works for your animals, and it's something that works for your body too. So especially if you're having any kind of digestive problems, apple cider vinegar or any kind of vinegar except white vinegar. White vinegar, you just want to use that for cleaning. You don't want to drink that. These are all probiotics. I'm talking about healthy bacteria. So the introduction of healthy bacteria into your internal ecosystem is a really great thing that you can do for yourself and for the people that you love. So there you go, guys. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys play around with this medicine, this recipe, this food, this like gift you can give yourself. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. I love you guys very much. And so if you saw my last video when Gloria was just arriving, I heard about the puppy Sarah. So we named the puppy Sarah, and apparently she's doing really well. She's following Gloria around. She's like sleeping under her bed. Maria Luisa, the little girl, she gave her puppy a bath, and then the puppy slept in bed with her. And apparently they're very happy, they're very comfortable, and they really understand that they that these are special dogs who deserve care, and so the whole family's on board, and so that feels really, really good. It feels like a win. It feels like a win for the pups. So, you know, all of these things that we're talking about and learning about here, that I'm passionate about sharing on this channel, it's like, how do we care for ourselves? How do we really care for ourselves? And then from that caring, then we can really care for others, you know? But it's hard to really care and support people in a good way if you yourself are not cared for, right? If you're depleted, if you're empty, if you're drained, if you don't have proper nutrition, if you don't have proper gut health, like, the way you're going to be operating in the world is going to be much different than if you're an overflowing source of, you know, abundance and care and, like, you know, do you know what I mean? I think you guys know what I mean. I think you're smart enough to know what I mean. Look at this. Cool, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys soon.